Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Life with Sam and Haley. For today's video, I'm gonna be sharing my pregnancy, labor and delivery, postpartum experience, you know, the whole shebang, as a first time mom, and share some little tips and all of that stuff, what I did and how the experience is for me so far being a mom. So let's go into the video. You don't need no other body. You don't need no other body. If I keep glancing down, I'm looking at my iPad. I have my notes here because I don't want to get sidetracked or anything like that. Alright? So let's start with how I found out I was pregnant. So it was back in January 2022. That was last year. I found out I was pregnant. Now at this point we're in the middle of, you know, gradually going back to full face-to-face, and I was, you know, in that phase of going back to work. Like, I'm so in tune with my body, so if anything is off, I know immediately, and I knew something was off. Off. And what solidified that was my monthly missed by a couple of days, and she's usually on point unless. So that was the one sign. So one evening I was coming from work, I stopped at the pharmacy and I got 2 pregnancy tests, and I took them and they were positive. I shared it with, you know, my boyfriend and everything. I was telling him that, hey, I did a test and came out positive. He was excited. I was between excitement and, you know, a little anxious. I didn't know like what to expect. Like, this is my first time, so I was like, oh my gosh, like, and I wanted to make sure. So what I did another 2 tests the next day. About 2 more tests, took them, came out positive. So I was excited, but at the same time I was still a little, you know, anxious, a little worried, whatever. I quickly got over that, and my boyfriend was so excited. He was so elated about it. You know how men are. So fast forward to like a week afterwards, you know, it's still soaking in, and I haven't seen the doctor yet. I went to see my general practitioner because, you know, I wanted to make sure. So I was like, okay, I know maybe the smartest idea was to go to my general doctor. I should have gone to the, you know, but I knew why I went to him, because I know that if anything is wrong or anything is off, then he will know who to refer me to. And I'm glad I made that decision. So we went, he did his checks. He's like, yeah, definitely pregnant. He sent me to do an ultrasound, you know, just to make sure everything is fine. I went to do the ultrasound. This is where everything just, you know, everything just started like here. This is where things started to go and get a little more anxious for me. So I did the ultrasound, I got the results, and I went back to my general practitioner with my results, my ultrasound results, and he looked at it. He was like, yeah, definitely pregnant, like 6 weeks, etc. Haley's in the back causing a ruckus right now. We did the ultrasound. He said, yeah, 6 weeks pregnant, but, and when he said the but, I was like, huh? But what? He's like, oh, you have like 3 fibroids. I was like, what? Biggest one is 4 centimeters. At this point, my heart sank to the floor. I was like, what? What do you mean? I don't know. I'm so young. Like, I don't, what? I don't understand. At this point, I'm so confused. I don't know what is going on. So I'm in there, I'm shook. He could see that, you know, my eyes start to well up with tears, and I was like, oh my gosh, this cannot be real. And he was like, all right, don't worry about it, I'm gonna refer you to a good OB, best I know, and if he's unable to help you, come back, I'll refer you to somebody else. Funny enough, the person or the doctor he referred me to was the doctor I initially had in mind to carry me through my pregnancy. So I was like, okay, this might be a sign from God that this is the person I need to be with on this journey, you know? So I went to him, did my first visit, and it was amazing. I was happy leaving the office that day. He assured me that, listen, Miss White, everything's gonna be fine and you're gonna have this baby just fine. Don't worry about it. If you have any questions, message me. He gave me his number. He's like, text me on WhatsApp, anything. Don't go on Google. Google is gonna stress you out. If you have any questions, message me and ask me. Call me if it's an emergency. So that was the beginning of the relationship between me and my OBGYN on this new journey of mine. Now, my first trimester was rough. The first trimester angle triangle box and keep me down. Okay? Listen to me. It was nothing like what I saw in the movies where girl find out she's pregnant and she's all glowing and life is good and it wrong. Lie. Don't make them fool with them movie. Yeah. First trimester was the absolute worst thing ever. Like morning sickness. I could not eat. I couldn't eat nothing. I couldn't use any of my perfume. Me a girl love use my perfume them and lotions and all of that. I couldn't use anything with scent. I had to switch out my lotion to unscented. I had to stop using my body sprays and my perfumes. And I had to stop using the scented soaps I used to use, like, you know, my shower gel and all of that. I had to switch to unscented. And then my boyfriend put me onto the Pure Castile soap, peppermint. That worked wonders for me. The scent of it was so soothing. If you are cooking at the vicinity, may I vomit? If I smell nothing, if you come around me and wear no perfume, no cologne, nothing strong scented, vomit. Any food, fried, stewed on anything, once you smell it, vomit. My entire first trimester, I could not eat any food like I usually would. I had to switch out for fruits, salad, soups. That was it. I couldn't eat anything else, and in fact I lost a lot of weight in my first trimester. Salted saltfish, red herring, crackers, and anything sour like lemon juice, lime juice was my best friend for the morning sickness and the nauseousness that I had. Like, yeah, the first trimester was a no for me. I hated it so much, and nobody else could relate to it because none of my other sisters had morning sickness with their pregnancy. I was just so unlucky to get it, you know. But in my first trimester was the rough aspect, and because I was high risk, I had to be going to my doctor like every other week for the full time of my first trimester. I had to get checked to ensure that, you know, everything was good, baby was fine, and that my fibroids weren't outgrowing my baby, which was the focus. And I was on meds for that and everything, you know, just to keep everything under control and to ensure that my baby was growing healthy and strong and how she should. In one aspect though, I did get a little scared. I remember one day I woke up, I was supposed to go to work and I was just not feeling it, so I called in sick. And on that very day I had some heavy bleeding and I had to call my doctor same time and rush out. I'm glad I didn't go to work that day because who knows what would have happened if I did. So I had to rush out to my doctor and checked, everything was fine. It's just that there was some disintegration of my fibroids that was causing the bleeding, so I had to be on bed rest for 2 weeks. I could not do anything but get up out of bed, use the bathroom, and go back and lie down. I couldn't do anything at all. The doctor warned me, rest, and we had to keep communication I passed that, that was the rough part of the first trimester. First trimester is rough, won't lie. And then my second trimester came. Now at this point, morning sickness gradually went away. The food aversions gradually went away. I could eat as I pleased. I could start using my perfume and my lotions and all of that again, and I was so happy about that. So happy. Girl was in her prime in her second trimester. At this point my bump was coming, all the bumpy bump. It was exciting. Baby was growing. I was glowing. And this was the part of the pregnancy that I enjoyed, my second trimester. However, my feet did start to swell up. My ankles and my feet would swell so big it could not fit in my shoes. So I had to switch from wearing my regular work shoes to wearing Crocs. I didn't mind because the Crocs are so comfortable. I never minded, but I was a little worried about that because most people don't start swelling up until like the third trimester or close to when they're supposed to have baby. But for some reason my swelling started in my second trimester. I don't know why. And I'm telling you, my feet were so lame. My ankles. And it's not like I was on my feet all day. I was sitting. I made sure not to walk around too much, and the doctor warned me about that too. I couldn't move around a lot. I had to avoid the stairs, avoid the long walking, avoid sitting too long too. So I had to time myself. 20 minutes sitting, 10 minutes standing. That's what he told me. So I would do that. So in between times in the day, I'd get up and walk around a little bit and then sit, But the second trimester was good. Girl was glowing and life was good in the second trimester. I could, Yeah, and I drove myself my whole pregnancy. I was driving and it was my rookie year on the road. I was so worried about that, but thanks be to God, everything was good. I'm going to tell you about my gender reveal. Real back the girl. No, the gender reveal I did in May, and that's when I found out I was having a girl. Yeah, I'm gonna insert the clip so you guys can see that.
Hold on. We can't still count down here. We know if you use that thing, right?
We have to guys out.
No idea what it is.
I mean, what
Alright, look on one. Ready now? Wait. You're turning something wrong. It's a whole tight.
Read the R them on top. It's the R on the bottom.
Yeah, see them. I don't know, we'll turn the side.
We start with the count to 10.
Yeah, hold on.
We count to 10, okay? Yes. Starting from 0. 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So we found out we were having a girl. Boyfriend was happy. I was happy. I cried a little because I wanted a boy, but I was grateful just the same. And when she was born, I loved her so much. So much. That's my little best friend, my little twinsy. That's what everybody says. She's my twin. Boom, no. Third trimester. This was the big boy, the big leagues. And thankfully for my third trimester, I was off from work. I was home. Because at this point it was summer break and I was home. Third trimester, the swelling got worse. My feet, huge. Me, started getting huge. And I will insert some pictures somewhere. Huge. Okay, I was home, I was tired all the time. Third trimester is exhausting. Okay, at this point I just wanted this baby out. I had pelvic pains, and those were not nice. I'm telling you. Back pain right through, and apparently I was carrying my pregnancy in my back, so I had a lot of back pain. A lot of back pain. And at this point, my third trimester, I didn't have to worry about my fibroids and the baby anymore, because at this point the baby was much bigger than they were. And yeah, they grew too, but not as big as the baby. My baby outgrew them, and that's what we wanted, my doctor and I, for the baby to be the one outgrowing them and not them outgrowing her, as you know, sis had to survive. But the third trimester was rough. I mean, tiring. I am eating all the time. Every 5 minutes I'm going to the bathroom. Every 5 minutes, and it got worse in the night. I had to be up through the night going to the bathroom, and it was hard to fall asleep because, you know, you get a little discomfort and you feel uneasy. Well, works. In the third trimester, I'm preparing my body. You know, about 35, 36 weeks is when I'm getting ready for labor and delivery. Now, throughout my pregnancy, I was sitting on what we call a pregnancy ball. I don't know what my boyfriend would do with it, but if I have a picture, I'll show you. Just a regular exercise ball. I would sit on it every day and watch YouTube videos on exercises, you know, to widen the hip and all of that. And I must tell you though, those exercises really did help with my pelvic pain and my back pain, because sitting on the ball every day, you know, rolling around, moving back and forth, all of that exercise, bouncing on the ball really helps with all of that. And it kind of helped with the, you know, pelvic area and widening the hips so the baby can have a easy passage through. So I was sitting on my exercise ball throughout pregnancy. But these are the things I did to prepare for labor. I'm gonna insert pictures. So I did a little research on TikTok. It was my best friend for the pregnant girlies. TikTok, bless their hearts, because the things that they worked, and I'm so grateful I did my research. So I did find this tea. Everybody was raving about, like, oh my god, you guys have to drink it if you're pregnant and you're preparing to have a baby. This is going to help you have a faster delivery and make your contractions more intense and working and all of that, you know. Then some people will have contractions but they don't really feel the contractions. The tea was gonna help you to feel the contractions, and they would work. Like, every contraction will help to push the baby out, you know. It kind of tones the womb, because the uterus is a muscle, and with every contraction it would help to, you know, push the baby out, and you wouldn't have to, yeah, you get what I'm saying. The tea I'm talking about, it was red raspberry leaf tea. I drank that around 37 weeks pregnant, and I'm telling you, when I tell you that my labor and delivery went like this, it went like that. You know, like some persons would be in labor for hours and days. I went to see first of all, I wasn't even feeling any contractions on the day I had my baby. I went to see my doctor in the morning. My regular checkup was a Thursday. I had my baby the Thursday, like literally 1 week before my due date. So I went in and saw my doctor, and he's like, oh, but you're showing signs. You're not feeling anything? I'm like, no, I'm not feeling nothing. I don't know what he did, but after he did what he did, I came out of that office feeling contractions. Not intense, but bearable contractions. It was more like period cramps when I was leaving. I left there. My boyfriend and I, we had some runs to make in the town, before I went home, because we need a few more items before baby got here. So we were up and down. I was upstairs, walking up and down stairs, walking around the town, etc. You know, I was feeling the contractions and when they weren't intense. We did what we had to do in the town. Then I went to go and see my mom. I went to see her. She's like, yep, the way how your belly looks, you are definitely gonna have baby soon. It's like, yeah, the doctor told me, like, you know, by tonight I should have baby. And whatever, I'm feeling pains, but you know, really like, you know. And I was just in the bathroom, and when mommy was saying, yeah, these are signs that baby is near. So we were there for like about 20 minutes, and then I left to go home. And my boyfriend and I, we came in, and I remember having this urge to use the bathroom so bad. I really needed to go number 2 so bad. So I said, I'm gonna use the bathroom. So I went, I used the bathroom, I did number 2. And right after, I felt like this drop in my stomach. I was like, oh my God, what is that? What's happening? And right after feeling the literal drop in my stomach, I felt the first very intense contraction hit me so hard. I had to hold on tight. And I screamed out to my boyfriend and I was like, yo babe, it's time, call the doctor. And I came out the bathroom, got my phone, I called the doctor, and the doctor, I'm in so much pain. He didn't believe me because I sounded so calm, but he didn't understand that I was in pain, but I was, you know, still keeping my composure. It's like, but you don't sound like you're in pain, are you sure? After speaking to my doctor on the phone, he was like, yo, get your bags, head to the hospital. No, I'm on my way, call the midwife, let her know you're on your way, etc. So at this point, my boyfriend was already loading all of our stuff into the car. So the baby bag, my bag, and all the stuff that we needed, everything, document-wise, etc. And I was already on the phone with the midwife, letting her know that, hey, I'm on my way to the hospital now, all of that good stuff. I did choose to go private instead of public, just a preference, and I just wanted to be at ease mentally as much as I could going through this process. I didn't want to go through this process with any stress and anybody else around me adding stress. So I had a whole birth plan out, and I made sure to let my boyfriend know what the plans were and what would I would prefer going into labor and going to have the baby. I didn't want anybody to be calling me, asking me all of these questions. I just wanted to focus on me and the baby and doing the delivery safely as possible. I just wanted to get the baby out first. So I made sure to tell him that, hey, I want to deliver this baby first before we call anybody and let anybody know anything. Okay. So I went in, I was checked. When I was first checked, I was at 4 centimeters. And I was there, and the pain was wicked. I've never felt pain like that before in my entire life. Okay, pain was intense. And at this point, I was like, yo, I don't know. And with every minute passing, they got more and more intense. I didn't want any drugs, any epidural, nothing. I opted for a natural birth. But baby, when I got too close, that's when I started to cry for drugs, but we get there. So I was checked, and then when my doctor got there, like an hour after I was first checked by the midwife, he checked and he was like, no man, this look like you're ready, like to go to the delivery. And he was like, check her nurse and see. And I said, yeah, it's time. So within an hour, I went from 4 to fully 10 and ready to push. So I was moving fast, I'm telling you, quick. Went in, doctor prepared, and one thing I respect about him is that he did a prayer before anything else. He prayed, and that even made me more relaxed. Throughout all of the pain, I knew in the back of my mind that I was in good hands and I'd be okay. My boyfriend was there with me in the room before the delivery, cheering me on, you know, making sure I'm okay, all of that good stuff. And then the big moment came for me to push. And at this point, trust me, I don't think about nothing else in this world. You just want that baby out of you and the pain to stop. And that was like, okay, time to push. And 1, 2, 3 pushes, and my baby was out of there. Quick. I did get some tear. I had to get stitches, but I remember her coming out and the relief I felt, and all I could say was thank you Jesus, for like a minute or two. I was just saying thank you Jesus when I heard her cry and she was out, and I was like, and I'm there still and everything was fine, thank God, you know. She was immediately sent over to the pediatrician who checked her to make sure everything was fine, and then they brought her to me while I was still there in the delivery room for us to see her. We saw her for a brief moment, her little hands and her little face, and she was just looking around and wow, where am I? And then she had to go back in, and you know, they had to finish up with me, dress me and all of that, and then bring me back to my room. And yeah, I didn't even spend a long time in hospital. I was there for the night, and then by 10 a.m. the next day, my doctor came early in the morning, checked me, and was like, yeah, everything seems fine. You see me in 2 weeks, check your stitches, all of that good stuff, check out and make sure everything is good, but you're free to go home. And I was happy to go home. Now this is where it really starts, because nobody tells you about the postpartum process of, everybody's quick to tell you about the labor and the delivery and how painful it is. Postpartum is a roller coaster, okay? And I think I had a touch of postpartum depression. I went through it. And girl, when you're going through postpartum, you want to make sure everything that you are doing is in comfort of you, and make sure you are comfortable and you are happy and baby is happy. Otherwise, now I had some products that really helped with the process. You know, I made sure to get me some cozy pajamas to wear, nice slippers. I had to get compression socks because my feet were mighty well swollen, big. For a good week or two, my feet were swollen, so I had to keep them open in compression socks. And I also, you know, you have to take care of the stitches, and this is the part that I will tell you about. Now thankfully for me, I was very careful. I did my sitz bath every day, twice a day, and I had a peri bottle. I'm gonna insert a picture here. I would fill that up with warm water and salt or Dettol. So every time I go to use the bathroom, I would use that bottle to, you know, rinse, and because I don't want to use any tissue down there, any rag or nothing to touch it. Once, especially with stitches, you want to avoid touching with anything to cause cross contamination or any bacteria getting into it to cause an infection. You want to keep that area as clean as possible. So I use my peri bottle to, you know, rinse off. And it's a bottle, you just use it upside down and squeeze, and it has a nozzle that goes, it's set like this. So you squeeze and the water go up. So you use it and squeeze the water and warm water and salt, or you can put a little Dettol in there. And then I used a witch hazel foam on the pad that I would wear, and Dermablast. You know, you see the Dermablast? I've heard persons say that the stitches would start to itch them when it starts healing, the area would get tight. I never had any of that, because you see that Dermablast, it's basically, you use it for cuts and bruises. It was safe to use there. I did my research before. If you are pregnant and you're going in to have a baby soon, you need to put the Dermablast in your hospital bag, get it in your bathroom, and get some witch hazel foam for your pads. Thank me later, you're gonna love it. Okay, though I didn't have to use a tub to bathe. I use a shower, and I would say use a shower, or if you can't use the shower, use something, a different container to wash that area than what you would use to wash your body, and to use a different rag that you use down there, different from what you use to wash your body, to avoid cross-contamination and spread of bacteria all around. And I went back for my 2-week visit. My doctor was so proud. He was like, you're healing up. Perfect. Great. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Okay? I will make a separate video with more details on how I did all of that postpartum stuff. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do that video. And I'll link the products as well in that video. So that was my experience pregnant, and you know, it was a whole experience and a half. It was hard because, you know, I'm in a long distance relationship, and majority of my pregnancy my boyfriend was not here, but I do appreciate him for trying his best to be here for the important stuff. The doctor's visits, he would try his best to take the time off to be here. For the gender reveal, he was here for, and he made sure to take time off like way before I was ready to have the baby to be here, you know. So I appreciate that. But yeah, pregnancy, the journey of being pregnant and becoming a mother is one that nobody tells you can be lonely at times. You get to watch everybody else around you, you know, continue to live their life and do their thing, and you're going through all of these changes with hormones, and you want to talk about it, but the minute you start to talk about it, it seems as if you're complaining, but you're not. It's just a lot, and people don't understand it. So it's a journey that is very lonely in the sense that nobody can help you to carry this life that you're carrying inside your whole body. That's one. And two, the hormonal changes that you go through, it's a lot, okay? And nobody talks a lot about it enough, to me, I feel. So that was it. It was overall a good experience for me, I must say, compared to some other persons. Mine was as stress-free and as possible. Big ups to my family members. They were there with me through and through to do stuff for me I couldn't do. I couldn't lift up anything or do much, so I couldn't wash for myself, cook, etc. So they were the ones there. And ladies, the person you choose to have a baby with will determine the type of pregnancy you're gonna have. Okay, choose wisely. I'm happy God sent me a good partner and somebody good enough to go on this journey with me. I mean, it surprised even me that I am a mother, because in previous years, younger me wouldn't even think of it. I was team Cocomelon free, team F them kids, team rich auntie vibes, until over time mentally my mind started to change, and then COVID happened, and what are we lucky in, people like that, and I'm like, okay, maybe having one child wouldn't be so bad. And I'm happy I was able to do that for my mom, like to give her a grandchild, even though she have only for grandpitney already, but you know, she really wanted one from me specifically for whatever reason. But I'm happy I was able to do that. But my experience overall was good, and I love my Hailey Bean. She's a part of me, literally. She's my everything, and I love her so much. And I know she loves me. She doesn't say it yet, but yeah. But that's the end of my little, you know, story about my whole pregnancy journey. Let me know in the comments what your journey was like, how your experience was, and you know, some of the little things that you did, etc. And if you're not yet a mom and you're thinking about it, let me know like how you feel about becoming a mother, all of that good stuff. Okay, leave a comment below. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for sitting through this video, listening to my experience. I really appreciate it very much. Please comment down below and say, what should I say, new moms rock down below. New moms rock. If you made it this far, comment new moms rock and give a thumbs up to the video. Right, I will see you in my next upload. Bye.